Hey guys, welcome back to Continues to Tick. Another week has passed us by, and I hope you're all managing well. For those that may not know, I work as a registered nurse by trade, and currently working on the front line of this crazy COVID-19 pandemic. I just wanted to share that I did get vaccinated recently, technically last week. Got my first dose of the Moderna vaccine, and I know there are different opinions on vaccines as a whole, but especially this new COVID-19 vaccine. A lot of people say it's been rushed, but nevertheless it is here, and people are being offered this vaccine. Even as a healthcare professional, I'm not here to force a vaccine opinion on anyone, but maybe, just maybe, for anyone on the fence, if you're curious, I did just get vaccinated, and the only symptom I did happen to experience was soreness on my arm near the injection site. It was pretty tender, to be honest, and lasted a solid, day to day and a half. But other than that, I was good, and I'm good now. Me personally, I'm pretty excited to have gotten vaccinated finally. As every day I go into work, I'm touching hundreds and surrounded by hundreds of COVID-19 positive patients, especially on a weekly basis. And because of all of this, I've just felt weird to go home and visit family or get a haircut and go to stores. So I haven't. I'd imagine I'd be the person I wouldn't want to be around right about now, if that makes sense. Anyhow, I guess what I'm getting at is that I'm pretty optimistic at the moment for the short term. And I really want to get back to a new normal baseline of life and living as soon as possible. I'm extremely tired of this pandemic and honestly just quite annoyed, as I'm sure many of us are. But all the things considered, I hope you guys are well, as I am well, and my loved ones around me are also well. So, no complaints from me, looking at it, all things considered, right? And most importantly for this channel, I'm continuing this series of documenting my dividend growth portfolio. This hasn't stopped. It won't be stopping anytime soon. I've really enjoyed the journey so far, and I can see the progress unfold almost weekly now, which is very neat. And here we are, many videos deep now, and we've come a long way from my very first video, back in August of last year, 2020, I believe. With this said, in this video, we'll go ahead and jump right into the portfolio review this week. As you can see here, I have a little note that also shows, this last week I got paid $16.64 in dividends. That's a big week. It's a good week. So we'll go ahead and jump into the portfolio review as the most exciting news is in there. So here we are in the Jesse's cash flow portfolio. We're sitting at $14,825. This week I'm going to break it down just a slightly bit more than I normally would, but not as deep as in my $0 to $10,000 portfolio size video, and like my soon upcoming $0 to $20,000 portfolio size video that I anticipate will be coming out soon enough, as we're creeping up on that goal at a rather swift pace. But nevertheless, here we are, currently sitting nearly at $15,000, which is pretty cool. But a 16.62% gain all time, which equates to $1,000 or $1,019.81 of market gain, just market gain. And then it also takes into account here on M1 Finance $127.97. So I used to see dollars, just single dollars, and here we are with an earned dividend amount of over $100, which is pretty neat to say. This past week, I think it was a pretty flat week overall, but it was pretty good. You can see my increase of $500 here. This was for my deposit, I believe. But overall, it wasn't a negative week, and it wasn't a great week. It just happened. And I'll take that any day. The last month has been good, 1.85% return. The quarter, 8.98%, which equates to an overall, including dividends earned, a $947 gain. You can see the sectors that I have here. I have it broken down. I did some research in the very beginning when I first started this portfolio. I got a lot of ideas from other people's channels, from reading into, some articles, just quick Google searches. And these were the sectors I kind of followed along with others as well. So I have a sector of real estate here. I have it at 13% of my portfolio. I have consumer staples, which is 12%. So these are pretty much my leading categories in my dividend portfolio, besides the ETF and index fund, because if you were to combine these, it would be 20%. They're 10% each. Part of it is because I do like real estate. I like real estate in real life. I feel like it's a pretty good cornerstone to have in your portfolio. Sure, it can go down when the overall housing market goes down, but the housing market overall, it's kind of like a rock. It's there. It doesn't go too high. It doesn't go too low. But when it does go low, it goes low. I know, I know what you mean if you're thinking that. But I kind of just have it there as a cornerstone. I have utilities at 10% also. Some people have it more of a higher percentage in the portfolio. Some people have it as set as a lower percent. I'm pretty comfortable with having it at 10% here for utilities. Tech is one, thinking of the future. A lot of people have it higher than 10%. 10% for me. Financials, this is another one, give or take. I have it at 9%. Industrials, 8% of my portfolio. Have healthcare. I'm a nurse. I work in the medical field. I have a lot of faith in healthcare. So I have it at 7%, whereas other people may have it lower than that. Communications is an interesting one. I often see in people's portfolio, they have it, set to a low allocation, and I don't blame them, but I have it here set at 5%. I have energy, 3%. I do invest in oil. Everybody has their opinion on that. A lot of people think it's dying, and it may be dying, but in my personal opinion, I don't think it's dying as fast as people say it is. So I do have it at 3%, and you can go ahead and see exactly what I'm holding in this energy, because I do have one renewable energy company in here mixed with the oil. So check that out if you're interested. I have materials here set at 2%. Materials are pretty boring, but I need to include it, or I felt like I had to, so I have it at 2%. And then consumer discretionary. This one I will say, it's McDonald's. You can't really hate McDonald's as it is literally everywhere. I don't recommend buying it or not buying it. We all know what McDonald's is, and I'm sure it's in a lot of people's portfolios. But I have McDonald's at 1%. And if you notice, it's in the red, but it is McDonald's, so I feel comfortable with that. If you're curious to see what this portfolio is actually yielding, we can go ahead and take a look at that also. We'll go into my pies. We'll go down to Jesse's cash flow. And here we are, the Jesse's cash flow portfolio. All in all, I'm holding 51 holdings, and the portfolio is yielding just about 3%. So a lot of people have their opinions on exactly what you want your dividend portfolio to yield. I have mine set pretty much at 3%. So 3.027% if you're curious. My expense ratio is actually also really low. I don't want to be holding something that I need to pay a lot for or to be paying for just in general. But if I do have to pay for it, I want it to be the least amount as possible. So my expense ratio for my portfolio is fairly low at 0.01%. So if you're curious, you can definitely take a look at what it is that I'm holding. I'm sure if you're familiar with M1 Finance portfolios, which a lot of dividend investors are, there's going to be a link in the description box below. It'll be to sharing my pie. So definitely check that out if you're interested in seeing exactly everything that it is that I'm holding. Like I've said before, I'm not a financial advisor. So even though I try to go a little deeper in this video, I'm not going to show you exactly what it is that I'm holding because I don't want it to sway you in any which way. You'll never see me recommending a stock, telling you to buy this stock now. There's a lot of channels on YouTube that already do that. And I just personally don't feel comfortable doing that. My strategy or the point of my channel is just to show you just a documentation that an average investor who makes an income, that invests it, sticks to a strategy, sticks to a game plan, will in the end, at the end of it all, have a good sized dividend portfolio that will hopefully help retire early or to just retire at all. There's a lot of people that never retire, so I really don't want to be one of those people. And maybe you are the same way. But for the activity this week, just to go ahead and start wrapping up this video, here we are, getting paid in total, if you were to add all of these up, $16.64. To begin here in the week, January 11th, we got paid by Omnicom, $1.47, and we got paid by Philip Morris, $2.14. Here on January 13th, my deposit of $500, I haven't swayed from this. I've been trying to stay consistent, and this is the one thing that I really try to do every single week, as long as I can. So with this $500, we had a snowball last week of $6.75. So with $506.75, we bought into 40 holdings of the portfolio. Pretty neat. Every single week, we're starting to see a bigger snowball, or at least a consistent stream of a snowball. Here we are, January 15th, and all these dividends were actually paid on January 15th. If you were to actually add them up, it'd be $13.03. So $13 for a day. You can buy a lot with that. So in the future, when I go and stop dripping, to have this income coming in, it's going to be pretty nice. And at that point in the future, it's going to be even bigger than $13. So Avalon Bay, we got paid pretty much $3.21 if you were to add them together. Don't really know why it splits these every now and then. If you do know, leave a comment down below and maybe you can explain it for me. I haven't really looked too much into it. But DLR also paid me on January 15th, $2.52. SX Property, another real estate, $2.78. Another real estate, $1.69. We got Sempra Energy, $1.30, and Medtronic, $1.52. So a really good week overall. Taking all of it into account, $16 paid of dividends this week. That's why if I bring you over here to the portfolio, you can see next week we have a good amount of cash balance here from dividends. that will be reinvested into the portfolio next week. So I'm excited to see that. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's video. It's been a slow and steady process, which comes with dividend investing. It's not Tesla, but I am getting some returns. But most importantly, even if I wasn't getting the return right now, I'm getting paid those dividends. So I will see you guys in next week's video. Take it easy until then, and be safe out there. Peace.